Extroverts who ask others, "Why are you so quiet? What kind of response are you looking for?" One of my favorite surgeons is very quiet. Story told about him by another surgeon when he was a resident. Resident kept trying to ask about his kids, his holidays, making chit-chat. Surgeon says, "I'm comfortable with uncomfortable silences." End of conversation. One of my favorite coworkers was a guy that was equally comfortable sitting the next desk over in total silence for 4 to 6 hours at a time on the nights we worked together. It was so nice, going in knowing I wouldn't have to spend 15 minutes every hour or two trying to make small talk. Sad day when he left. I hope it wasn't because I asked him if he wanted anything from the snack rack that one time. I was raised by librarians. I like your accent. Where you from? I am Liberian. Oh my bad. I can now understand that vine. Oh my god, thank you. I feel so dumb for not getting it after seeing it 100 times. Well shit. Me too. I didn't get it but I don't feel bad. First guy tells second guy he likes his accent and asks where the accent is from. Second guy says I am Liberian, meaning he, and his accent, are from Liberia. First guy misunderstands and thinks the second guy says I am a librarian, meaning someone who works in a library. He then quietly repeats his question, as you are supposed to be quiet in a library, not realizing it's already been answered. I'm an extrovert who has recently taught himself to listen more than speak. I'm a contractor and I just knew that I had a tendency to dominate conversation and had to make the conscious effort to shut the duck up and listen to my customers. It has affected my entire life in a positive way. It's probably more profitable, too. I imagine it is. It's something my wife brought up before I even met my first customer. My all-time favorite barber would ask me what I wanted and then didn't say a word the entire time. As he moved up and got more clients, I was easily paying him $50 per haircut. Worth every cent though. My hairstylist is friendly and extroverted. But the first time I went, I asked her if it was okay if I worked on my iPad. Now I just pull it out as soon as I get there and she holds all small talk until I'm checking out. I always leave a generous tip, and she knows it's not personal. I've been going to her for 10 years, and I don't really care what she does to my hair or how much she charges. What if she gives you a bowl cut? Okay, yes, I should have said within reason. I have long hair, I'm female, and as long as she leaves it medium to longish I'm happy. I'm just there for the shampoo and scalp massage, and general maintenance I guess. I was in a long relationship with someone who could not stand silence and would never stop talking. This resulted in a complete breakdown of communication because what was being said was always filler and never quality. I speak when there's something to say and expect to be listened to. Some people speak as a performance and don't understand why others don't perform the same way. When there's constant talking, information is not exchanged because talking just becomes constant empty noise. Someone said it like this: "You're talking but not saying anything," or something like that. David Burns said it like that in Psycho Killer. You start a conversation, you can't even finish it, you're talking a lot, but you're not saying anything. When I have nothing to say, my lips are sealed. Say something once, why say it again? Qu'est-ce que c'est? FFFF for better. Run away. Ooh, I. Woo, wow. A witch stole the top 15 decibels of my voice. If you can retrieve them, I'll give you a reward. Duck, how though? Were you asleep? Quest givers don't have to explain shit. Me, screaming, what do you mean you lost your child in a river and just left them there? NPC. Do you want the experience or not? Accept. I love the quests when they ask you to save someone hanging off of a cliff, so you accept it but then just walk off to do some XP farming or do the main story, and 5 years later you finally do the quest and they're still hanging there, but the second you come up, they start to lose their grip. Well, after 5 years I'd probably start losing my grip too. Nah man. Hess had 5 years to strengthen those muscles. His fingers have 6-packs. That's how he started losing his grip. All those developed muscles were weighing him down. One of my now close friends is very quiet and introverted. For years, I thought he didn't like me at all. Eventually I figured out how to communicate with him. He's someone who actually thinks before he speaks, which is surprisingly rare. Like you would ask a question, and he wouldn't answer, so I would assume he was ignoring me out of dislike, when in all actuality, he thinks deeply about things before giving an opinion, so you may wait a few minutes in silence before he responds. Once I figured this out, we started to have a true friendship. Eventually I figured out how to communicate with him. It's called sending memes. Quite efficient language. That's my way of communication. This is the way. I hate when they follow it up with a command to smile. Why are you quiet? Smile. I used to work with a guy who would just randomly come up to me and say stuff like, "Are you okay? Why don't you ever smile?" When I'd be in the middle of whatever task I was doing. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to work, leave me alone. Who walks around with a smile on their face 247? Especially at work. And I barely ever worked the same shifts as this guy, so I didn't know him at all, which made it even more awkward. One of my first jobs as a teenager was at a fast food place. A manager told me I had to smile more when dealing with the public, but I just couldn't bring myself to fake it. When she later asked, "Why don't you smile more?" I simply said, "Because I'm at work." Surprisingly, that was actually enough, and she never asked me to do it again. Lola was a cleaning assistant at a gym as a teenager. I got fired and their reason was that I didn't smile enough. I always wondered if there was another real reason, but I always did my work well, much better than the other teenagers there. My theory is that they only wanted teenage girls to work there since they hired another girl after me. That sounds really creepy. I just came to say, please stop asking people why they're quiet. They're shy or nervous or worried or something. Ask them a question they can answer. Like, what do you think? Or did you see? But enough about me. How are you finding? What did you do at the weekend? What have you planned for this weekend? How's your dog doing? I like this answer a lot. I hope it's okay to add that if you pull that individual off to the side and have a slightly more private, one-on-one conversation and ask them those questions, maybe that could work. I'm incredibly introverted, and don't like being asked, "Why are you so quiet?" in a large group setting. It's easier for me to have more one-on-one convos on an individual basis. I really do like to listen to what other people have to say, and get to know them that way. Spot on. In large groups I'm never the chatty one, but can easily have a convo one-on-one. I'm not as shy as I was as a kid, but I still only talk when I have something to say. I'm a much better listener. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool, than open your mouth and remove all doubt. I always liked a wise man speaks because he has something to say, a fool speaks because he has to say something. You calling me a fool? Then how do you respond? If I ask the other statue if I'm a fool, what would his answer be? That 100% gets ignored and responded to with hostility every single time. Another question for extroverts. Do you ever find it weird that someone is quiet? Whenever I'm asked why I'm quiet, I get the feeling that the other person thinks I'm weird for being silent and observing. I find it hard to believe that it's for any other reason. Same here. I'm pretty quiet in group conversations, but still actively listening, and I find myself smiling, nodding, making whatever appropriate facial expressions a lot so people don't think I'm weird. My friends tell me I'm gonna give myself forehead wrinkles from raising my eyebrows so much. They'll just laugh probably more than I talk, lol. Why are you so loud? I am so stealing this one. I don't know how effective that would be, based on my personal experience. Years ago, I was on break at work. Just sitting at one of the break room tables, minding my own business. Out of the blue, some girl at another table says from across the room, "Why are you so quiet?" I said, "Why do you talk so much?" Her response was simply, "Weirdo." Then she just got up and walked out of the room. Apparently my response was too confrontational, even though I asked her essentially the same question, only with the roles reversed. My go-to response nowadays is to just shrug and say nothing. That's gotten a couple chuckles out of few people. It'll teach her not to ask the question.